Yo, welcome back to another episode of What Your Bitch Ass Hoe Ass Mom Say.
Whoa.
Let us know below what your bitch mom said to you.
I was not ready for that.
Anyway, I'm Tess for Galt.
I'm Hannah Vergolt, the sister of that thing over there.
That thing.
Yeah, put that thing back where it came from.
So help me.
So help me.
I am feeling a lot better because we just went to go eat. This is the second intro we're recording today.
Yeah, we are constantly going to the same restaurant around the corner from you.
It's so good. Fuck.
We love a banh mi up in this bitch.
I love the little fucking rice bowls. I'm like, yeah, put that sauce on that hoe.
It's just like, I love tofu and I love bread. And you put it all together.
And you know you get the best of
Both
both worlds.
And mayo. It's like, there's nothing wrong going on with it. Everything's right.
Everything's right in the world of rice and bread and tofu.
Yeah.
And mayo. It's just all white foods.
Shout out to French people for colonizing Vietnam so they could put their food in baguettes.
Fuck.
Like, what the fuck? That's why it's like that.
Have you seen that Panera has salad stuffers now?
What is a salad stuffer?
They stuff your salad into a roll of French bread.
Why don't you just... That's weird.
Like, they scoop out all the breading, and then they just stuff it.
I think they do that with soup, too.
Ew.
I think they started doing that. The soup thing was already around. You
with
get
a baguette?
soup in a... It's like a more circular type of bread.
Yeah, and like a
bread bowl.
But, yeah, to do it long ways would be crazy with a straw.
Yeah. That's what's next is going to be bread milkshake.
Bread milkshake. Bread... lemonade.
Ew, I hate soggy bread.
I do too. This is what I was saying because we had burgers yesterday, Brian and I, at this place around the corner, because everyone's like, it's amazing burgers, it's amazing. Every single bite further into the experience, the bread became more soggy, and it didn't take me that long to eat. So that's
bread
a really
should not
quick
be soggy that fast.
No, that was a quick turnover rate from dry to wet.
Get a bucket and a mop for this wet ass burger.
It just like soggy bread takes me back to those days of summer when you were like little and you're at the pool and like someone's making like burgers and hot dogs on the grill and like some kid like fucks up and part of their hot dog bun gets in the pool and there's like wet bread in the pool and you're like, it's disintegrating.
Yeah, wet bread in the pool, disgusting. You know what's also disgusting at that neighborhood pool was one summer there was some sort of like neighborhood party at the pool, so it was packed. Like there was so many people in the pool, which already is disgusting. You already run the risk of someone being like, there's a turd,
Yeah,
everyone get out. Which they would have to evacuate everyone even if the turd happened in the kiddie pool, because like the water was connected somehow.
Well, if you got in and if in one into the other without realizing, like there's no way for you to know.
That's not good. But anyways, I remember for some reason it was like a fun activity to cover a watermelon in lard.
I knew you were gonna say this. I was like, is it the watermelon covered in Vaseline thing?
It was pig fat. It was lard.
I've been to a pool party where they did it with Vaseline.
Okay. I think that's probably a little bit better because after you're supposed to jump in and kind of grab the watermelon, and it's funny because it's slippery, I guess. But as a vegetarian, I can't participate in shit like that. That's what I tell myself because it looked gross. But after it was done, there was just like white chunks of fat in the pool. It was just
from the people.
I like how both of our intros were starting off as like some disgusting visual.
Last week we got
blood
to hear
in the
about
plants.
bloody plants.
I think we're really good at this.
We're so good at this.
Well,
non-mom related topics.
I wanted to say something sort of mom related because I was absolutely destroyed last night. And not in a fun way. I PSA, subscribe to your local public broadcasting station You can get PBS Passport. It's like any other streaming service, like Netflix, Amazon, but you get all of like the PBS and BBC stuff. Mm-hmm. But I was watching this nature documentary thing on there about ocelots. Do you know about them?
I know what they are.
They're like small cats.
Yeah. Very cute.
Well, they're bigger than a house cat, but there's only like 100 left in Texas. Oh. They used to span like a bigger range in the US, but their populations have like dramatically dwindled over the years.
So you could say the ocelots have really oscillated
downwards. But it was all about that, and this documentary like filmmaker guy following this journey and like talking to experts in the conservation and stuff, and it was just so emotional because he was filming this mother ocelot with her 2 kittens, and she lost one of her cats. There's like just footage of her like walking around the brush, like just meowing, calling out for her kitten that is not alive anymore. And I was just like sobbing silently in bed because Nikki was asleep. And
do you think it'd be harder for Mom to get over my death or your death?
It'd definitely be harder on her to lose me, I think. No,
because you were the first.
It's equally horrible, I think. There's no better off.
I'm just thinking about like who would be better left behind to help her, you or me. I think you'd be better left behind. So she'd probably get over mine easier.
I wouldn't be better left behind.
If you died, I would go cray and like go off the deep end, and Mom would be like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, Mom would need to help me.
Yeah, but if I died, I feel like you'd be a better like sounding
board. Yeah, I would be
for
fine.
I just think you'd be more responsible about the whole thing.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'd probably go do a bunch of drugs or something to forget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't forget me.
I won't forget, but like I'll try to forget the pain.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
this took a dark turn.
I won't do that, Mom.
I would love for Mom never to have to go through that.
Yeah, but I also don't want to experience her death or yours, so I want to die first.
I don't want that.
Sorry, I'm selfish. I'm selfish.
Don't manifest shit like that.
Okay, it's not gonna happen. We're all gonna live forever, and then we're all gonna die together.
Yes.
When we're all 100.
Yes. We're somehow gonna all be 100 at the same time.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds good. Anyways, I was very emo watching this mother ocelot cat be sad for losing one of her babies, but it was a really good thing, like a really good it's not a good thing, but it was a really good episode of the nature show. And so then I was like, let me research how the ocelots are doing now, because this was from 2022, and in the documentary thing they kept being like there's about 120 left, and then when I looked it up recently, it's like there's about 100 left. And I'm like, okay, so it's not looking good. But there's a bunch of ocelots in Mexico, and there's like conservationists in Mexico that are like, yeah, we'll give you some ocelots so you can like
how are they gonna get past the wall?
Exactly. There's all this political stuff, and then there's political stuff with the ranchers in Texas because they don't want to report an endangered animal on their property, because then the federal government is involved on their land and shit.
Did you hear that Trump is trying to get rid of bison?
That is, like, we've already been there, done that. We are like when the colonizers came here, like a lot of bison were gone.
I know.
They're trying to restore bison population, so it's just like.
But he wants to
really
like fully like deport them. Like he wants to deport bison.
Why?
And like they're from here.
Bye, son. Shut up. Sorry. That's really sad. That's really sad.
I'm like, what the hell? Like, oh, God.
Yeah, the building of the wall like also doesn't help. Like, there's no way for the ocelots in Mexico to travel up to Texas because there's
a nature corridor.
Yeah, they were talking about how that's really hard to do. But I was researching last night because I was like, there has to be some good news, because the conservationist guy, please give me something. I was so sad watching it, and the filmmaker who made this episode, he talks about becoming a new dad and having this young daughter and how he's reflecting on how easy her life is compared to the animals he's observing and how he wants to make the future a better place for his daughter. It's like, it's so fucking emotional, so beautifully done. But I saw this press release that this one wildlife research institute built this $20 million facility with 30,000 square feet for dedicated space for like breeding ocelots and reintroducing them. And that's from October of last year.
That's good.
So that's my good news for the day.
I always find it weird when like they are breeding animals though. Like, how do you make them fuck?
I don't think you make them. I just think you put them together and they do it. Like how...
No, I know this is horrible, but like I know someone who worked in a facility like this and they had to like prep the male cat and the female cat.
What are they doing to prep them? Giving them a pep talk?
Giving them a hand job.
Who did this? Who are you friends with that's giving cats hand jobs?
Hold on. I know this is a real thing. Hold on. I know it sounds really scary, but that's what they do.
Cats have like pokey, prickly things on their dicks. So
maybe it wasn't the cats. Maybe it was the dog.
What the fuck, Tess? I think I know that they do weird stuff with like horses.
Yeah.
I think they collect horse sperm and send it off to people. Right? Yes, I don't know how that industry is.
Artificial insemination is a standard widely used practice in professional and hobby dog breeding and often involves human-assisted collection of semen from the male dog.
Who, like, wants that job? Someone's sick in the head.
Imagine if you get that job and you don't realize what you have to do and they're like, all right, jack off 3 dogs today. Jack Russell.
We got a Jack
Yorkie and a Labrador. Get to it.
Yorkie.
Don't mix up the samples. Last time that happened, it killed the female dog. It was too big for her cooter.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, one of our former guests on the podcast, this was her job.
Who? Can you tell me and just bleep the name? I can't wait.
It was Emily. She's talked about it on stage before.
So she's had to do this with animals?
No, with humans. Yes.
Yes. Better to do it with the humans.
Yes. Like she was an assistant for a vet. And like they had to like do this.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
There's nothing I hate more than an animal penis. It makes... What
about a human penis?
That is not as bad as like a giraffe or a whale dick. Like those are massive.
Well, those are huge.
They're disgusting. And they're red.
Gigantic rockets, bro. Red rockets. Okay, well.
So this is a podcast about moms.
And the other shit that we want to talk about. But speaking of disgusting stuff, are you ready for these Reddit stories?
Yeah, go ahead. I guess we're just the theme for today is disgusting.
The theme for today is a little bit disgusting. I have
we're disgusting.
I have 2 stories for you. One is really funny. The other one's a little bit scary, but they're both disgusting in their own way. Are you ready?
No.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, this first story is coming from r/advice. It was posted 1 year ago. And the title is, Do I Tell My Little Brother What His I Love Cream Pie Shirt Really Means? All right?
Okay.
My younger brother is a my younger brother... Sorry, it's so fucked up.
I hate this.
Let me start over.
Okay.
Do I tell my little brother what his I Love Cream Pie shirt really means? My younger brother is a junior in high school. Great grades, involved with his church, upstanding kid. One of his favorite snack foods are Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies. My mom knows this and got him a shirt that reads, I love cream pies, for Christmas. Being on the internet too much, I know what a cream pie is. However, my mom and little brother have no idea what that means. I am pretty sure it is one of those dirty shirts that is pretending to be innocent, but my poor family is too innocent to realize it. I would hate for my little brother to be made fun of by his friends or for my family to scandalize their local church group. On the other hand, I would hate to ruin Christmas by pointing this out. Do I tell my brother the true meaning behind his shirt?
I think God loves cream pies. That's how we all became here. This is so fucked. I guess like this person doesn't maybe want to say anything because then their family's gonna be like, why do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Or what is that the
like, but he also like, I think he wants to tell his brother privately so that his brother doesn't then go wear it to school or to church group or something. There was a link to the shirt, but it doesn't work anymore. I'm really sad because I wish I could see it.
Yeah.
I'm going to Google I love cream pies.
Okay, don't show me what comes
cream
up.
pie shirt.
Okay. Yeah, that's an unhinged shirt.
I'm wondering if like maybe it had like a little Debbie on it or something. I mean, I think it was probably like this. I love cream pies. I'll put the image there
on the screen. I would definitely say something to the brother, and I would probably refrain from trying to say anything to the mom, but I don't know. I would be like, "Oh, Mom, I'm just gonna wear this around the house."
It is kind of a weird conversation to be like, Mom, I'm gonna tell you what a cream pie is.
Okay, this is reminding me of a time where I don't know why or who thought this idea was okay, but as an extended family, all of us, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, we all played Cards Against Humanity, and like the things that are on those cards are not a thing you want your grandma to say out loud.
I vividly remember Mimi saying Daniel Radcliffe's delicious butthole. That was one of the cards.
I think one of the cards was a queef, and then we had to have like a family discussion about what that was. And I was like, this is wrong. This is not right.
When you fart out of your puss. I mean, sometimes air gets trapped in there. I don't think there's anything inherently sexual about a queef. Like it can happen at any time. Sometimes.
So we know when it's happening.
Sometimes it happens right after doggy.
Okay, but that's not something you want to talk about with your entire family.
Yeah, but you can also, I know a girl who can queef on demand.
Tell her to call us.
Kaylee, if you're listening,
get on the pod. We'll hook up the mic.
Yeah, we will. She once did it for a camera and setting, like after a show. This is when I was opening for Corinne Fisher. She was like looking for people in the audience who had really weird talents, and my friend Kaylee, who's also a comedian, was like, I can queef on command. And she's like, are you fucking serious? So she got down on the ground and she did it. And it was really loud. I was like, damn, girl.
I love how we like took this disgusting story and made it more disgusting.
You brought up queefs, girl.
It just reminded me of like the uncomfortable dilemma you're in when some sort of sexual type of slang word comes up in a family setting, and you're like, I don't want to explain to my family what tossing the salad means. Like, I just don't.
I think in the long run, it's better to just like have the initial rip the Band-Aid off conversation with the mom and brother, because you don't want her to be like, oh, honey, go get your I love cream pie shirt. Like, there's just like, these
why don't you ever wear your
where
cream pie shirt to church anymore?
It's gonna be more embarrassing for both of them to not know what it means.
100%.
I mean,
you could, I guess the way around explaining it with having to go too much into detail is saying, hey, I just want to let you guys know that is a sexual term. I don't want to go into what it means because I don't want to be graphic with either of you, but that is not appropriate.
Yeah.
And this kid should not wear it to school because you could get in trouble.
Yeah, or it's like really sad. It's really embarrassing if you didn't realize.
Yeah, because everyone knows you're a virgin.
What? Or you just haven't done that.
Yeah.
This person says, reminds me of my mother buying my sister a tennis blouse for Xmas in the early 80s. She wore it to a packed out mass that morning. It had a painted picture on the back of the young lady tennis player digging her undies out of her crack with one of her arse cheeks hanging out. Mom never realized. The looks my sister got in the communion line were priceless.
Why is that on a shirt?
There's a lot of fucked up. Have you seen the Shrek's t-shirt?
Shrek's?
It's Shrek, but sex. Okay, there is an update.
You're just making it more and more disgusting.
Sorry. There's an update to the story.
Okay, tell me.
Update. Between your responses and my little brother showing off his I like cream pie shirt to his grandparents, I knew I had to talk to him about his shirt. I did talk to my little brother late last night and asked him if he knew what a cream pie was. Turns out he did know what a cream pie was, but he didn't say anything because he didn't want to embarrass our clueless mother. He showed it off to our grandparents also because he figured they would have no idea what it really meant. My little brother said he didn't plan on wearing it outside of the house. I think I will leave the matter to rest here.
Okay, because part of me was going to say, like, there might be a chance that brother knows what this is. But what a poker face he's putting on.
Yeah, all these other people in the comments have other shirts that are really funny. This person said, yes, I had a woman at work who was wearing an I love doggy style shirt with a picture of a happy pit bull. She did not speak English. I asked our leads to ask her if she knew what the shirt meant. She was mortified and turned it inside out. It's never fun to be the butt of a joke, let alone one that you don't understand.
Yeah, that one sucks.
Yeah. So that's a cute little fun one.
Yeah, that was very cute.
Well, like, you know, it wasn't like super sad and depressing like the one last week.
Yeah, for sure.
Where like she's like
she needs to get a divorce. Yeah, we either can do a sad story or a fucking disgusting story.
Yeah, well, the only like story we've had go viral is the am I the asshole for kink shaming my mom? So
yeah, people really have something to say about it.
Okay, are you ready for this next one?
Yeah, bring it on.
This is also coming from the subreddit r/advice and was posted a year ago.
Time out.
Yes.
Go follow us on social media, guys.
Oh, yeah. If you're having a good time listening, please follow us wherever you're listening right now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, you can submit your own stories about your mom or sister or mom-related things to our inbox. That's whatmomsay@gmail.com. That is WHAT as in dick. Mom
no,
say.
you didn't even say the D part.
WHATD as in dick.
Okay.
Mom say.
Okay, sorry. I didn't hear the D.
Yeah. I mean, if you're listening to this right now, you can see how it's spelled. Do a little bit of research. You can also,
if you don't feel like emailing us, you could DM us.
Yeah.
It's also an option.
Please.
At whatmomsay.
Please.
Sing Please 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 by Sabrina Carpenter.
Please,
but
please.
The wait.
Please, please. Send us a fucking story thing.
Okay.
All right. The title of this story is Found a Hidden Camera in My Room.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I hate that this is a story we're reading and it's going to be related to moms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Found a hidden camera in my room. Hi, I'm a 16-year-old female living with my parents. Today, I got home from a 9-hour shift. For some background, I haven't been a bad kid. Honestly, I'm really smart. I have 2 jobs. I'm taking college courses, and I'm doing really well with a high GPA.
Pop off.
Since the age of 14, I've been able to travel to at least 5 to 6 states by myself, all expenses paid. Not only that, I'm just the type to write, listen to poetry, and honestly, just to be myself right now. I've also... Sorry. It's another reason why we know it's a real story. I've also been to 3 different high schools, all of which I transferred to myself. It's junior year of high school. I don't have any relationships. I do have 2 exes, but honestly, that's it. But yeah, I just got home from my 9-hour shift, and I was talking to my mom like I usually do. One thing led to another, and I wanted to open a savings account. I'm on her account, so we wanted to save money together. After I applied for the savings account at Bank of America, things got a bit blurry, but somehow I came across this camera app. I saw my room and my bed literally clear as day. It was insane. I went to my room, found the camera, and hid it in a drawer. Honestly, I feel like this is an invasion of my privacy. I've always been open with my mom. Of course, not about everything, but for the most part, I felt I could have been open with her. Now I feel like I can't be fully open anymore because this is just insane.
Wait, what? What does the banking app have to do with the camera? Like, she saw charges for an app that was related to...
No, so they were trying to open a savings account together at Bank of America, and I guess they were on her mom's... She was in her mom's phone, and one thing led to another, and she got on this other app.
Okay, got it. I was so confused as to, like, how the dots were connected.
She says, things got a bit blurry, but somehow I came across this camera app. I feel like...
What do you mean it got blurry?
Did you black out, girl?
Like, the way this is worded is a little bit confusing as to how she drew the conclusion.
You're not that smart.
Okay.
High GPA, working 2 jobs, but you can't write right.
And you can't talk.
Shut the fuck up.
She's going through like a horrible traumatic situation. We're just roasting her.
But she's like, I don't deserve to be like surveilled.
Okay.
Surveillance.
Do you remember the show that was I don't know what it's called, but do you remember it?
Yeah.
It was My Extreme Home Makeover.
Yeah.
And they did a documentary on how all those families were like fucked over because all their taxes on their brand new built houses were way too high to pay. But anyways, something that always weirded me out in that show is a lot of the times they would put cameras in every single room of the house, including the children's rooms. And they would be like, here, parents, here's like basically security monitor screens. You have cameras in every room of the house. And I always thought, that is so weird. Why are they putting cameras in all their children's rooms? Like,
I understand it when the kids are really little.
I think there was like instances where I was like, this kid is too old to have a camera in their room.
I think like newborn to puberty, I kind of understand, because if
to puberty, like up until age like 12,
like 10.
Even then, I think that's a little old.
If you think about it this way, it's like if there was like a home invasion or something went down, you would have proof that this person like did something to your kid. Or if you like have a nanny or someone watching your kid you don't know,
yeah,
you might want to check in on that during the day. At a certain age, though, I do think it's inappropriate. I personally wouldn't want a camera on me at all.
I think it would have made me feel weird as a kid to know there was a camera in my bedroom. Like, I'm always being watched. I already kind of felt that way sometimes as a kid. Like, I had a paranoia that I was...
Yeah, well, I was looking through your door.
I had this thing where I thought I would feel like someone could see what I was seeing through my eyes.
Whoa.
A lot. Like, I don't know. I just had like a weird fixation on that for a while.
Maybe there was a demon in you and it was seeing through your eyes.
And it's taken over. It won.
It won.
I'm a little gremlin demon girl now. But yeah, she was right. It's obviously an invasion of privacy. It's strange.
16
and also
is way too old for your parents to be watching what you're doing in your room. I'm sorry. Like, you get changed in there. You do private things in your room that nobody needs to be a part of but you know?
Yeah.
Like, you were by yourself. It's also those, like, there's some things you can only do when you're completely alone. Like cutting your toenails, right? Like,
I thought you were going to say masturbating.
Yeah, obviously that's the obvious one, but there's just other ones, like, or like the weird things we do in the mirror as girls. Like, I'm going to like do all the, you know, you don't want to be watched.
Grabbing your clothes out of the laundry and smelling it to see if you can wear those pair of jeans again.
You don't want someone to be perceived while you're doing these weird things. You might be making weird faces or like
being disgusting.
Yes, kind of like those disgusting behavior things. Or what if you eat your food a little bit weird when you're 100% by yourself?
I feel like you're really exposing yourself right now.
No, I don't do any of these things. I'm perfect.
No, but that's very strange.
I think especially when you're a kid, you're even more strange. Like, I think about like all the weird shit I did as a kid, and I'm like, I want somebody to watch me. When I was a teenager in my room,
What were you doing?
Like, dancing in the middle of the night or like trying on all these clothes and like doing sexy poses in the mirror and shit. Like, I'm going to be an adult.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I would be mortified if someone was like, I saw all of that.
Yeah, that's so embarrassing. Everyone reaches an age as a girl where they have to get a hand mirror and figure out what's going on down there.
This is the disgusting episode.
So, is there any sort of update or clarification? Also, just a side note, it sounds like she's kind of like being not treated as a child in general. Like she's in charge of a lot of stuff. She has a bank account open with her mom, and she's doing all this stuff independently in a solo style. So it feels like
I just found some more information from our OP.
Okay.
They said, since this is the top comment, I'm going to hope this at least gets some attention. Hi, it's me, OP. I just got back from work and wanted to clarify some things. Forgive my grammar. I'm tired. Girl. When I said things got blurry, I meant it literally. I just saw the app open in another tab. To clarify, people are questioning how it's possible for a 14 to 16-year-old to travel to multiple states alone. I do it through summer programs and competitions. I've been to Chicago, New Orleans, Atlanta, Texas, Alabama, Kentucky, and South Carolina with a friend. I like how all those were states except New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's a city. I haven't traveled as much during junior year. Regarding school transfers, I research open registrations and apply accordingly. I transferred from my home school to 2 different schools. Freshman year, I was at one school, sophomore year at another, and now for junior year, I'm in a different school.
This is not the information I want. Everyone's questioning her on, like, how are you traveling? How are you transferring schools? Like, what the fuck is going on with the cameras in your bedroom?
I guess I don't believe her. Like,
even if the story is fake, I want to know the fake ending. That is the interesting part of the story.
As for the camera situation, I found it through an app called IWF Cam. The camera itself was in my closet and is now in a drawer. Yes, working 9-hour shifts is legal if you're 16 plus where I live. I looked into the legalities of cameras in a teen's room. It is legal, but it becomes illegal if I undress in that room, which I do. It's been 22 hours since I discovered it, and I'll update when I learn more. I wasn't expecting this post to get such a reaction. My other posts don't get this much attention. I've been trying to respond to some comments, and hopefully this clears some things up. Also, I don't have a close relationship with my dad. He lives in another state. Since I'm a teen, I'm being careful with how much I share, so I apologize for keeping some details private. I also can't post pictures on this subreddit. And yes, I have 2 jobs, one remote and one in person. And someone says, call the police and tell them you are 16 and found a hidden camera in your room. Let parents backpedal and explain that crap.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Why are people wanting pictures of her that are commenting on the Reddit?
I think they want pictures of the camera.
Oh, okay.
But this subreddit, you specifically can't post photos on this subreddit for some reason.
Okay.
So it's one of the stipulations.
Got it.
I'm trying to see if there's any other comments from OP. This is so scary.
But like, what would be the reason for the mom to be surveilling her in her closet?
I don't know.
Like, is anything valuable kept in there? Like, was the only camera in the house in the closet?
It was in the closet, but it was looking at the whole room.
Oh, pointing from the closet outward to the room.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really weird.
I'm going to go to their profile and see if there's any other comments. But this is, I don't know how close this person is with their mom. If they are close to their mom and they feel comfortable talking to them, I would talk to them and be like.
I would be so creeped out.
Yeah.
By this discovery. I would not feel super safe.
Oh, they keep their comments hidden, so I can't see.
I guess we don't have like some sort of satisfactory conclusion to the story of like what's going on.
I'm gonna see if I can find anything else here. No. Yeah, I don't see any kind of update. Which is a little bit scary because she said she was gonna update.
Oh, how long ago was this?
This was a year ago.
Girl, are you okay?
Big answer 3329. You good, girl?
Yeah, that's concerning and strange.
Yeah, I'm seeing if there's any other comments here that look important.
The only thing that will like make me feel better knowing is if there's cameras set up in the whole house. Like every room had a camera in it. If it's just her bedroom, it's there's something weird going on with her mom. I don't know.
Yeah. If there is an update, it's not coming towards the top. Okay. Someone goes, dude, what the fuck? That's a total invasion of your privacy. I'm sorry. Since you've moved the camera, I would let your parents make the next move. Be aware of whatever you say out loud in your bedroom, though. If there's anything you want to keep sensitive, don't speak about it. There could be microphones hidden elsewhere, or it could be some old-ass camera from when you were younger. This technology is decades old, so that your parents maybe got too awkward to remove. And she said, no, it was a recent camera and also a terrible spot to hide a camera right in my closet beneath my clothes.
So mom's not even smart like her daughter. I don't know. Like, I'm hoping it's not some weird sort of sexual situation where she's trying to get footage of her daughter naked. The only other thing I can think of is there's something about her daughter she doesn't trust or is trying to catch her doing something bad or feels like there's something in danger with the safety of the house or her daughter. Like, the mom is suspicious of something, but that still doesn't justify installing a camera in your 16-year-old daughter's room. But it's just like, why? I would want to know why.
I don't want to jump to like the most nefarious thing. I think probably from the mom's perspective, this is a safety precaution. Like, I don't think she's trying to like get weird footage of her daughter or something.
Yeah.
Like, that seems really messed up. But
if it was her dad's camera app, that's where we would be jumping to.
Sure. And I did for a second, I was like, maybe her mom has a boyfriend, but then I was like, no, the app is on her mom's phone, so it's the mom who has access to it. Maybe she got it when she got a boyfriend or something, and she wanted to make sure they weren't being sexually active.
Yeah, or she was worried about her daughter being alone in her bedroom with a boy. It sounds like her daughter's really independent and kind of doing her own thing. Yeah, I guess it's like some weird parenting surveillance thing, but that's not the way to go about it, and that's a way to like really damage the trust between you and your child.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Disgusting. But you know who's not disgusting?
Our guest.
Yeah.
If you're tired of hearing disgusting things, you're in for a treat because it's not going to be disgusting anymore.
No, it might sound a little bit disgusting at the beginning, but it's actually really good.
I'm just thinking of that term she said. What was it?
Whisker biscuit?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all guys are going to learn all about whisker biscuits. But our guest today is the karaoke DJ at Secret Group. This is how I met her. She's much more than that, but I met her by doing karaoke like a little gremlin every Thursday at the Secret Group. And she's also an actress and all-around badass. She has 2 moms. I don't want to give too much away about that situation, but it was really nice to sit down and speak with her about her family situation dynamic. It's very different than what you would normally see.
Yeah.
But yeah, please give it up for Brit Garcia.
Life's a bitch, Hannah's gay, Tess got too many bills to pay, so they get together with Lily May and ask each other what mom say. They ask each other what mom say.
Hello, welcome to our podcast,
Yay,
Brit.
I'm
Welcome.
so excited.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Amazing.
So you have two moms and
I
their
have-
sisters.
I have two moms and their sisters. So I was adopted by biologically my Aunt Robin. She's the second oldest of four sisters. And my grandparents got divorced, and my mom and my biological mom and my older aunt, they grew up in Wisconsin. My grandparents got divorced and they moved to Houston. So when they moved down here, my mom met my dad, they got married. And so she kind of raised the younger sisters, Beth being one of them, my biological mom. And then a little party favor surprise moment comes along me. And she was like 18, so not really ready to have a kid. And she tried for a while. And then my parents were like, no, Brittany's ours. So yeah. And in middle school, it was like fun. I remember writing in like a creative writing class. Because I didn't really know anybody that grew up like I did. I didn't know anybody else that was adopted, that had this kind of weird family structure. And I remember, I'm going to write about it. And I did a piece in this creative writing class, and it started out, I have two moms, but it's okay because they're sisters. And so like imagine in middle school, you're like, I don't think that one landed the way that I thought it.
That's kind of funny because usually when people have two moms, they're like, are they sisters? And you're like, no, they're married.
They're married, sorry.
Yeah. Wait, so you knew growing up
Yeah.
that your mom was your real mom?
Yeah, as from my earliest memory of like being able to, and not even, I think when I was really young, you don't fully understand it. And part of that too is because I think Beth, in my early time, spent a lot of time with my parents before my younger siblings were born. So she was there. And I remember one of my earliest memories, and kind of when that like kid confusion set in, Beth and I were at my parents' house. And at that point they had already, I had been with them for years at that point. I was like 5 or something. And Beth and I are in the bathroom, and I get a hold of like a razor, and like I cut myself. And I remember crying out, Mom, and they both answered. And I was just like, oh no. So that was where Mommy Beth was born from. And even now I'm like in my 30s and I still call her Mommy Beth. And so like it was a way to compartmentalize as a kid, like this is Mom and this is Mommy Beth. So I always knew Mommy Beth carried you and she loves you so much, but she just wasn't ready. But my parents were in a position and were like, we loved you so much too that we wanted to give you the things that Mommy Beth couldn't. So, yeah.
That's a sweet way to explain it.
Yeah.
How much older was your mom than your bio mom?
I want to say she's not like less than 10 years older.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but she had already been married, and my older brother from my parents, he was already born. So, they had careers at that point. Were raising my brother and just were more stable, and even too, at that point, Beth was still young, and my parents were still kind of raising and guiding. So definitely, they were just in a better position and like had their lives more settled where they were able to take on that responsibility. So,
So your brother's your uncle.
My brezen. And he liked to remind me growing up, and we're cool now, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
But he would do the things growing up when you're young and being a dick. He was just like, Mom and Dad asked me if I wanted a little sister, and if I said no, you wouldn't be here. Or, we found you on the doorstep, and like just stuff like that, like general big brother stuff. And I think around the age of 8 or 9, I got like wise to it, and I was like, oh yeah, Mom and Dad got stuck with you. They got to pick me. I was a choice.
Come back.
Yeah. So I learned at a really young age to kind of turn that around to my benefit and see it as a positive. So,
Nice.
But yeah, no. So we have a really cool relationship, and it's just weird. Like, he's a boy and he was the only child, and he's 7, 8 years older than me. And then also my older aunt, her daughter Jessica grew up with like my brother and my parents too. And my Aunt Kim, they're all still really close. And so before I came along, my dad was kind of like Jessica's surrogate dad because like her parents had been divorced. And so she was his little girl. And then I came along. And so like the first 5 years, she did not like me. Like she would tell me stories of like walking me home from the babysitter and just like beating me, like spanking me the whole time. Or like, now. And then I got a little bit older and she was like, okay, I think I like this one. So now she and I are really close, but I did steal her thunder for a little bit.
Yeah.
So
That's what happens when you're the baby.
you know.
You're the baby.
I am, but then our mom got a dog, and She's the baby.
She's the
now.
actual baby.
Oh yeah, Bentley is the same with my family now. My
Yeah.
mom is obsessed with him, and I'm okay with that.
So it seems like your mom and dad are kind of like the matriarch and patriarch
Yeah.
of the entire family. Like they kind of mothered everyone.
Yes, yeah, and that was kind of interesting too in that dynamic. Getting to see, like in family dynamics too. Like yes, dad traditionally like patriarch and culture we live in. The man's the head of the family, but my mom definitely calls the shots in that situation.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was really cool also coming from that perspective. And we have, extended family here, and especially with family still in Wisconsin and them trying to be close in Houston. So we always grew up doing things together, but my mom was always central to those things. And she was the sister that planned things. And she was the one who like rallied everybody together. And I remember there was one Thanksgiving, the sisters were like fighting over whatever. Like they all had it wasn't like a huge thing, but they just,
Just your regular sister.
we were like, I can't stand her right now. We're not talking.
Yeah.
And we always did like home Thanksgivings or holidays. But there was one Thanksgiving, the sisters were fighting. And I remember we went to Black Eyed Pea, and it was fine. It was good. It wasn't bad. But I remember sitting there and I was like, you guys better get your shit together. I'm not doing this again. We don't do public things on holidays. I was like, please, for the sake of me not doing this and like going to a restaurant on a holiday, fix it. So, yeah, but definitely the heads of the family.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, and I ask a little bit about like what the dynamic was like between your two moms as you got older. Like, did you spend more time at both of their houses, or you were just at?
No, especially, they were sisters, and me knowing from as my earliest memory, it was important that they were both present in my life for them, not just like my own personal wants, but it's her sister too. Like her sister's going to be present in her kid's life. So when I was younger, I would spend like weekends with my mom. And then when my younger siblings were born, weekends with them. So my sisters, I have 3 younger sisters, and they always knew that like I was their sister. I just didn't live with them. But also just because like, in my day-to-day life, I was with my parents. We were raised like cousins. And then I had our youngest of our siblings, my biological siblings, my younger brother. Until the age of like 12, he thought I was his cousin. And like,
Gosh.
I remember there was something that happened, and we were at like a family get together, and he did something, and I reprimanded him or something. And he like looks at me, he's like, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my sister. And I'm like, buddy, I'm about to ruin your world right now. I actually am. So splitting time. Yeah. Majority of my time was obviously with my parents and my brother, but I also did have those like weekends and things like that with Beth and my siblings. So yep, splitting times.
Okay. And I can't remember what my next question was going to be. You mentioned that Beth is a hustler. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So obviously, I think people get interested when I'm talking about like my lore and like the backstory and like how I came to be. And so Beth was a young mother. And tried, I think about the first year of my life, was I'm going to raise my child, and she wasn't ready and couldn't give me the things, that a child deserves. And then my sisters aren't that much younger than me either. So, they're, I want to say 3-4 years younger than me. So then she had my sisters. And for a large part of it, she was like a single mom, young, had some relationships in the beginning that weren't great, but had always found a way to like support herself and like take care of my siblings and whatever she needed to do. She's also just like a huge storyteller. Like Beth, that's one of the things I think is really interesting how I grew up and like just my life is I get a like real life example of nurture versus nature, because I can see things from both of them in me. And some things were with Beth, they're just like inherent because she gave birth to me, and my facial expressions and my inclination to talk and things like that. Definitely Beth things. But so, she's always been very charismatic and was a car salesman for a while, and has done like debt collecting and stuff like that. And really had to try to figure out those things and navigate stuff and taking care of her and my siblings by herself before she met my stepfather. And my stepfather, when he came into the picture, I feel like that was a win across the board. Really was accepting and even thought of me as like one of his children, like his oldest, and was really caring about my sisters. And then my younger brother came along, but up to that point, it was just her being really gritty and just trying to keep things going. And even through some of the stuff that she faced, she just wasn't going to let her stop what she needed to do and kind of take care of herself.
Yeah, I feel like when you're a mom and you're by yourself, you kind of have to find that energy from somewhere to like get everything together.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if you're completely by yourself, you can let things slide. But if you have like little kids, you need to
Gotta figure it out.
lock
Do
in.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll lock in for sure.
I was like, I'm about to rob a bank, actually.
So when your mom started having children, was there ever any talk between her and your bio mom and your mom about like ever you going back to live with her?
Oh,
Or
no.
was it kind of like,
That was like
this
a
is
hard
our daughter,
stop.
like-
Yeah. So I mean, there had been some back and forth. Like the first year of my life, there was a while. I think like the first 6 months, Beth lived on her own and she had me. And then I think there was another period where she was kind of in between with my parents, and so like I would be with my parents and her. And then there were just some. She was young, and there were just some situations where it became apparent to my parents, like Beth is not ready for this, and my mom, you know, when they had the conversation, they're like, we want to take Brittany. We want to raise her. But if we do this is like, we're not going back.
no take backs?
No take backs. He's like, we claimed this one. So, so yeah, no, there was a conversation early in the beginning. And I think a lot of that too is, you know, not wanting to interrupt family structure and stability. And I think the first year of my life, that was something that was a struggle, is there wasn't that stability there. And obviously, like I was so young, I don't remember that, but that kind of stuff sits with you subconsciously, you know, so
It imprints on your brain, I think.
so there may or may not be some stuff in the background that I deal with, and that's just like a subconscious thing. And but no, they were very clear from the beginning, like, but also be involved as much as you want, but we're not going back from this situation once we do this. So it's a very clear hard line on that.
Yeah. Wow.
Did that cause any tension between you and your other siblings? Like, were they like, why don't you live here? Or like, why don't we live with these parents?
I don't really think, we've never had conversations about it. And as I've gotten older, and because our childhoods were very different, you know, I came from this more structured, stable situation where, you know, things with, before my stepfather came into the picture, my sister's father, you know, not some great stuff there. And some of the things that they went through, I mean, even me at one point, like one weekends that Beth would have me when he was involved, there were things that happened where my parents were like, well, nope, she's not going to be around that situation. But that was kind of the day to day for my sisters. So there's never been like tension between us as far as like, you know, we went through X, Y, and Z and my childhood looked different. But for me personally, I do carry some, and not guilt, like that's a weird way, but a little bit, you know, like,
Yeah, like survivor's guilt.
yeah,
kind
like
of?
I think I had things when we were younger much easier, some of the stuff that they went through. But also knowing that, and just how Beth really tried to be there, and how my sisters have grown up now, and like, because the things that they went through were difficult, but they, you know, 2 of my sisters are mothers now and have their own children. And my middle sister, she's married and was Bentley's mom for a hot minute. And now it's kind of the same situation where it's like sisters sharing a baby, but we just share a dog baby. But, you know, they've really come through it. And I think in a whole, not only are my biological mother and my mom really good examples of grit, and like life isn't hard and you have to make these choices and keep going, but I think my siblings have done that as well. So I try not to feel too much guilt about it, but there's always going to be a little part of me that's like, my childhood was a lot different than theirs was to start. But
Yeah.
You know.
It must be weird to like look and see what your life could have been so closely to you. Did you ever meet your bio dad, or?
So this is fun. A few years ago, like when Ancestry and 23, all the things were like coming out, you know, and I never had known anything about my biological father. Was never like in the picture. Like Beth got pregnant with me, and then it was just, that's it. So we did Ancestry, and my maternal grandmother and my brother and my mom had done Ancestry. So I had all the stuff from like my maternal side. So all these things that start popping up that are like not related to anybody, the flags start going off, right? Like, oh, that's the donor. And I was never like, and I had a conversation too with my dad, because once my parents adopted me, I have a very close relationship, both with Beth and my parents, but I'm a daddy's girl. Like, I was his baby, like, even before they had me, you know, which is also why Jessica didn't like me for a little bit. But it was never a question of like lacking or feeling like I didn't have a dad. But when there's this whole other side of just your genetic makeup, I'm not even really like family history and things like that. I'm not lacking in anything.
Yeah, I would be so curious to know.
Yeah.
Like, what does this person look like?
What do they got going on?
So, do they have any diseases I need to be
Yeah.
aware
Well,
of?
and I had some like weird stuff that happened to me medically, like in my 20s, that like nobody else in my family has a history of. So when this stuff popped up about my biological father, there was this curiosity of like, okay, now I know I'm seeing people that he's related to. And there was this instinct to kind of ask like, yo, I went through some really weird medical stuff in my 20s. Is this a thing on y'all's side? And I first connected with one of his nieces, and that interaction was super weird. And she was kind of like standoffish. And I was like, whoa, I'm just trying to get information. Like, I think we're related, and I think your uncle might be my father, biological father. But then the more that I started to like dig through stuff and in public files and records and things, that search stopped very abruptly, because I was like, no, I'm good. I know what I need to know now. And it was never a question of like finding something missing in me, but just like a curiosity. And the things that I did find weren't great. And so I'm kind of grateful that he wasn't a part of my life. So
Did your mom ever tell you anything about him, your biological mom?
I mean, we've had, you know, brief conversations, but I think, you know, she was so young, and he was never he wasn't a part of things at all once I, you know, was born. So it was one of those things like we didn't talk a lot about. And I can understand that now, you know, just being through some of those tougher situations, and even now, like with dating in your 30s and it being like a really weird landscape for that sort of thing, I feel like for me personally, even with like my friend circles, I'm really protective of that. So I can see, you know, once I was born and, you know, this not being a relationship that carried on after that, and him not being present, like not really wanting to talk about that. And so like it doesn't, I don't know, like I never felt negatively about it, or like I wish you would tell me more about him, because the things that I did find out later, I was like, good on you, dude, just walk away.
Yeah.
So
Like, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. It's not pleasant.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. What are your mom's zodiac signs? I'm really curious.
Oh my God. Okay. So this is where Beth is going to be really disappointed in me, because anytime I start like dating somebody new, she's immediately like, what's their birthday? What time were they born? Like all the things. She's ready to break out the moon chart.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law would like do numerology stuff too. So like anytime there's somebody new, they want to know those things. And I'm terrible at like zodiacs. But Beth is October and Robin is January. So whatever those
Okay, so
are.
a Capricorn. It sounds like she has Capricorn energy, Robin, but she could be an Aquarius.
She's late January.
Okay, Aquarius. No, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the number.
28.
Okay, Aquarius.
Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
And then Robin might be
No,
a Libra.
That's
Oh,
Robin.
Robin's the
Beth.
Aquarius.
Beth
Yeah.
might be a Libra.
I think that's right.
That's
Yeah.
October,
She's going to be
but-
so mad. And I like prepped them both. I was like, hey, so for like Mother's Day weekend, I might be like talking about you guys on a podcast. And I was really nervous for them to be like, don't do that. Like, it's nothing weird. Like, we have funny interactions, and there's both things from them that are really funny. I was like, I think it's cool. And it's a way for me to like celebrate you guys. But this is definitely one of those moments where Beth's going to be like, have I taught you nothing?
Oh my God, that's so true. It is Mother's Day tomorrow. So we have double moms to talk about this weekend for you guys.
Twice the mom.
Yeah, we're
fun.
doubling up on the moms.
Doubling up on the moms. It's funny too, like when you date and bring someone home, do you have to be like, you have to meet like all of these parents?
God. So my last like serious long-term relationship, we were together 7 years. I literally had to draw out like a family tree, because he'd always be like, wait, how are you related to that person? And it, you know, it was like this weird thing of like, this is my mom, but this is also my mom. This is my mom that raised me. This is mommy Beth. And like being in my 30s and being like, you call her mommy Beth? I'm like, just, it's fine. And then like, these are my biological siblings, but this is my brother I was raised with. And, you know, like my grandmother was like adopted too. So I don't even want to think like, I can draw like my immediate tree, but it's more like, I call it like an unhinged bush when I think of like my family tree stuff. It's kind of crazy, but yeah,
It's
7
like
years.
2001. It's just a bush out of control. That's hilarious. Okay. Can you tell us the story about Nola?
Nola, yeah. So this is another thing where I think we see some of the inherent like parts of Beth and Robin in me. So my oldest aunt, she had moved to Louisiana, and like the sisters were all used to being in the same city. So she moved for work. So they were going to have a girls' weekend, and Beth and Robin were going to go visit her in Louisiana. And they had a weekend where they went out to New Orleans. And in their younger days, Beth and Robin were kind of like party sisters, not party sisters in the sense that they were out all the time, but when they did go out, they were the ones that were going to do it. So they go to visit.
They went all the way out.
Yeah. I mean, there was a year, not a year, but like my mom kind of went through like late 40s, early 50s, where she had like that renaissance period a woman has where she's like, I feel like I'm in my 30s again, and would go
what
out.
I'm doing right now.
Get it. So like they would go out dancing together, and there were a couple of weekends, and it was like out in Katy that like I was their DD, and I'm like, oh, Beth and Robin are going out for girls' night. But so they went to New Orleans and had a good time. Obviously, like you do in New Orleans, there were drinks had, and like going back to the hotel or wherever they were staying. And Robin, that after they get back from the night out, Robin realizes that she's forgotten her contact case. She's like, oh God. And she didn't have like extras. So she goes and takes 2 cups from the kitchen, puts her contacts in a cup. Beth was so drunk that night.
Oh, no.
She wakes up in the middle of the night and drinks my mom's contacts. And so like we made jokes about like 20/20 vision and like, you know, the inherent stuff just like, but yeah. And I that was one of the warnings I gave Beth. I was like, you know, that night that you drank mom's contacts, that might find its way in the episode. And I kind of prepped them both like, but this is fine. This is like good, fun stuff. This is not stuff that happens all the time. So
I don't understand how you can't feel it going down. I guess if you're that drunk.
well, yeah. And you have like, you know, when you have like a night out and then you have those dreams about just chugging water.
Yes, I was talking to somebody about this the other night. I'm like, because I know there's those dreams where like you really have to use the restroom and you wake up having to pee, but there's also those dreams where you are like drinking water heavily and but nothing you do like quenches the thirst, and you wake up and you're like, wow, that's really sad.
I haven't had that.
You haven't ever been really that drunk before, I think.
Not often, but I have been.
Yeah, but to the point where like you're that dehydrated.
Maybe just a handful of times.
Okay.
Well, I think I was like surprised too. Like there were the 2 cups, but I mean, imagine like with the contacts, they weren't like full or whatever. But just like she finished the one, she's like, that's not going to cut it. And then goes for the left eye. And it's just like, all right, now I'm good.
She's doing like 2 shots of water.
She's like, why is it like this much water in the cup? Was it contact solution?
No, I think it was
Okay.
just like tap water.
Okay, those contacts would not have made it.
Anyway, so it's like
yeah.
she kind of did you a favor.
They would have.
Really?
I've
You
used
just put it
water
in water?
before when I ran out of contact solution.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
It doesn't
I thought
feel
it dried it out.
It doesn't feel great, and you do need to reintroduce them to a solution at some point. But like they can survive a night in just regular water.
If anyone knows how to make a pair of contacts go a long way, it's you.
I know. The ones I have right now are like, I have the 2-week ones, but I try to make them last a month.
You know.
Because I'm not trying to buy another set of 6 months worth of contacts. I think that's bullshit. And I actually think all contacts last the same exact amount of time. And it's like a bullshit scheme that they're like, these are 1 day and these are 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Because the 1 day ones you gave me, they lasted 3 months.
Dang. I do the dailies, and I have like, so for a period I was like wearing contacts every day, and like now I switch a lot between my glasses, and I mostly wear contacts when I'm like in a stage show because I'm not trying to act through glasses, and also I'm blind, so I'm not trying to die on stage. But I've gotten to a point where like I'm not wearing them every day, and I have like 3 months right now of like the daily contacts, and I'm like, well, this is gonna last me a year at this rate.
Yes.
So I'm about to cancel and be like, Hubble, you also that I just admitted that I wear Hubble contacts right now does not make me feel good.
What's wrong with Hubble?
I don't know. Like some people are
Apparently
weird
they're
about it.
Really bad. The last time I went to the eye doctor, I told them I was wearing Hubble, and they were like, "Those contacts are trash. They suck."
Yeah,
And
they're
I
like
was
a discontinued.
I was like, okay, but I feel like there's something to that because the contacts I have now are really, they're thinner. I don't know. They are nicer.
They are. Those are the ones that she gave me a pair of contacts on Thanksgiving as a gift.
Wow. We have the same prescription.
That's convenient.
Pretty much. It's close enough where it doesn't really matter. And yeah, I made them last until like January.
Wow.
I can give you more. Sometimes I don't wear contacts. I wear my glasses. And I'm like, got a few extra days in the year.
Well, the AccuV, I feel like they're too thick. Like, I can just feel them on my eyes.
Yeah,
I feel like I can feel them on my eyes right now, and I don't even have them in, but I had them in yesterday.
Just the memory of them sitting there.
It's like Phantom Dick, but for...
Wait, so you were saying you're an actress?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that was the thing. I think my parents, that's another thing I think nurtured versus nature kicks in. I mean, Beth and Robin are both very sociable, funny people. But Beth is the one that like will get into conversations with people and they're like, whoa, where did that come from? She'll tell you everything. Whereas like Robin tends to be more reserved. And so from a very young age, you know, doing voices, like if I'm at the grocery store with my dad, different accents, storytelling was like, you know, elementary UIL stuff. I really loved that stuff. And it also may be a touch of like undiagnosed ADHD where my parents were like, we got to put this kid in something. And so I did like summer school. I was also one of those weird kids that like did summer school for fun. Like I didn't have to go to summer school, but I was like, they have a theater camp and swim lessons. And so like I did all the like,
it's very Rory Gilmore coded of you.
so I did all the like extracurricular summer stuff, and theater was one of the first ones I did. And I had a great time. And from a very young age, it was like, okay, I think this is a thing she's going to be really into. So they got me involved in theater very young. And so the natural showman side of Beth came out. But then my mom was very nurturing about it and always super supportive. I mean, she has binders, and that's another side of Robin that I get, the organization and like planning and stuff.
How is she not a Capricorn?
Yeah, this is just not, doesn't sound right.
I have like binders of like all these like community theater shows I did growing up, that she had all the programs, the cast pictures, like old t-shirts I had, where she saved those things and like scrapbooked them and saved them. So yeah, I grew up from a really young age doing theater. And even up until I think last year was the last one they were able to go to. But I mean, even through my adulthood, my parents were supporting me in my artistic endeavors and going to see stuff.
So do you work for a specific company here in Houston?
I kind of bounce around. I'm a little bit of a theater slut. So for
all theater people are sluts.
It's a very incestuous group. You know, we like to bounce around. I also used to get this stuff growing up, or as I was adult, and saying, yeah, I was a theater kid in high school. And they're like, oh, theater kids, we heard they were like hooking up everywhere. I'm like, it's not inaccurate.
Yeah.
There's lots of like makeout sessions or whatever.
All my friends were in theater, and my boyfriend was in theater as well. I was the only one who wasn't, and they were little slutties.
You know, it's all the emotions. You got to get that out somewhere. If it's not on stage, all the hormones just do something, I guess. But I totally forgot where we were.
You're talking about where you...
Oh, the theaters. Yeah. So I did have like a home base for a while. So initially when I started, so I took a really long break in my 20s, and was just like figuring my stuff out and like working. And then, I got back on stage, and the first, like as an adult, the first theater I worked with was Theater Southwest. And I consistently was doing stuff with them for about 7 years, was like on their board. And I still do things with them, but I was in a relationship at one point with a big part of that theater, and then our relationship came to an end, and like out of respect, I was like, I feel like I might need to take a step back. And that gave me the opportunity to be able to explore some of the other theaters. So I've done stuff with Theater Suburbia. I'm currently kind of like social media board stuff with them and do posts, stuff like that. The most recent, I just got cast in a show at Company on Stage. So I'm really excited. This is the first time that I've gotten to do anything with them. I've done stuff at Stagework. So I'll bounce around. If it's a good show and a good director, I'll do it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Do you have a show upcoming?
I do. I'm in rehearsals right now. It's called Describe the Night, and it opens in June. So that's really exciting.
Okay. Well, we'll put that in the description.
Yeah. My director will be so happy.
We'll have like at least 10 people that are going to know about it.
Well, I would love to come see you perform. That sounds really cool.
That
It's
is
super
really
fun.
cool.
And I get to do so this one's really fun too. I feel like I've done a lot of comedies, but this is more like serious. It's basically like about Russian downfall and how the government portrays one narrative as truth. And so it's about like fake news kind of over like a 90-year period. And I get to play this reporter, like contemporary times. It's like uncovering all this stuff. And
So it's like what's happening to America right now.
It's a little, as we're going through some of these scenes, I'm like, oh man, this is fine.
Yeah, this feels too familiar,
Yeah.
too close to home.
Yeah. So, but it's cool. I have this really cool interrogation scene, and my other scenes that I have are really great. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, for such a heavy topic, I think it's gonna be a really great show.
That sounds awesome. I have a friend here she lives in New York now, but her dad is an stage actor here in Houston. And I saw one of his plays. I think it was at Catastrophe.
Oh
Theater.
yeah, Catastrophe does some big stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like about two men on death row, and he was like one of the men on death row, and I'm like, whoa, this is serious as fuck.
Yep.
I was not expecting that, but he was really good, really, really good. Is that also how you got into karaoke, the karaoke world? Was it through like stage?
I mean, I think because I've always had a comfort with stage, especially like from such a young age. And it's weird, like really intimate settings, not my vibe. Like I've had office workers who are like, oh, you sing, you act, sing something for us. And it's like literally a room of 3 people.
Well,
and I'm
that's ridiculous.
like, can you turn around and like
Yeah.
not look at me?
You
Sing for me, Paolo.
You don't do that with anyone else when they have a hobby. Like, I like to knit, and you're like, knit something
Knit
right now.
something now. Yeah, it's like, I'm not a show pony. Thank you.
That's what people do when I tell them I do comedy. They're like, tell me a joke. I'm like, absolutely not.
It's not how this works.
Yeah, you know how embarrassing it is to tell a joke meant for the stage to one person face to face?
Yep.
It doesn't work.
I think with the intimate crowds, I think I said that one point to some coworkers. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm used to like bigger crowd energy. Like I don't just, but it's always been a nice escape. And I think for theater, it was a way for me to get out of my head and feel more comfortable because, people would ask like, aren't you nervous? I'm like, not really, because it's not me they're judging on stage. I'm portraying somebody else. It's when I get off stage and I have to interact about what I was doing on stage that I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. Is this over now?
Yeah.
But karaoke was kind of the same. It's been an outlet for me. I think therapeutically, I like to sing. I was never like trained or anything. But I think growing up and having an ear for like accents and things like that, I can mimic sounds generally fine. So in my 20s, I started going to a local place, and it was like karaoke night, and it was a big thing. And I was like, I'm hooked, love this. It's performing, but it's also like hanging out with my friends and a little bit more accessible to them because I didn't grow up with like a lot of theater people. And I was a regular at this one place so much, and I was a girl in my 20s at that point. I was like, cute and having fun. And they're like, hey, do you want to like run our weekly show? And so it started, over 10 years ago where I was like hosting a show, and it was the same thing where like I was doing karaoke hosting for a really long time, then took a break, but like reconnected with a friend of mine who owns a company, was like, hey, you were really good at hosting. Do you want to get back into it? And so in the last year, I found myself hosting karaoke shows again for fun.
Yeah,
So cool.
I love having you there every Thursday.
I love it. It's my favorite. So I remember when I started there and like I was just covering and I was like, man, I really want this show. And they're like, hey, we think it was a really good fit. Do you just want to keep this show? And it was like an immediate yes. Like, yep, this is my place now. Thank you. We go hang out with the homies on Thursdays.
That's so cool. Are there any songs that you wish people would stop doing?
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
Immediate. And I feel like people are gonna be like, man, what's up with that? But I've had and I used to love this song. I used to, like, it was anthemic for me. I felt like I connected with it. But once you hear a song done badly so many times.
I feel like I know what you're about to say.
But I want to like it. So I used to, Four Non Blondes, What's Up? Hate it. I used to love it too. And there was like a year that there's the same person at one of my other old shows that I no longer do that would, and like, it's karaoke. Not everybody's going to be, but just like the intent behind it. And they were always so hammered. I was like, I hate this. It's now connecting with like all of the bad memories and the things I don't like about this. So now I do get like a little twinge every time it comes on, but there's a part of me like, be good at this song, man, restore my hope in it. And also Picture, like, please stop.
I thought you were going to say Creep by Radiohead.
No, I surprisingly, anytime somebody puts that in, I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. Creep, I still like Creep.
I love that song. I feel like the reason it gives me the like icky vibes when I hear it at secret group is because I feel like the person singing it is legit a creep. Like, I'm like, oh, you really mean what you're
It's a
singing
confessional.
right now.
Right. Maybe you don't belong here. Like, we didn't want to say it, but if you're just gonna, that's funny. Cause like so thinking about like another stand-up, set, I was thinking of like karaoke confessionals, but I've been like struggling with it. Cause like, I'm going to do this, like the dirty inside of being a karaoke host. And then people are gonna be like, well, fuck this show, man. She doesn't even like it. But it's kind of like song choice where it's like then becomes representative of your like mental health and like where you are and like so kind of like playing with that. And so I think it's really funny, like the creep song's like, no, you really are, you should not be here.
You really feel that what you're singing. Well, I know it's real because there was a period of time where I was singing Olivia Rodrigo Vampire.
Oh yeah.
Like every time I went, it was when I was like dealing with this horrible breakup. And I got off stage once and this guy was like, that was about XYZ guy, wasn't it? And I was like, you know what? I'm going home.
Yeah, like I'm done now. Oh no, I've definitely done the year phase of where like it was a year for me at one point dealing with like bad breakup stuff, and the songs I was singing, I was like, this may be therapeutic for me, but everybody here is like, you've got to stop killing the mood with that stuff, man. Find another outlet. And then when I'd start singing fun songs again, they're like, oh, good, you're in a better place
Thank
now.
God. I think it's so fun to sing a sad song.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I ran into is like I was doing them all the time, like all the feel songs. You got to pepper them in. You got to be strategic,
Yeah.
but like
Towards the end of the night,
Yeah.
everyone's really drunk. You're like, I'm gonna sing this weird, obscure, sad ass shit.
You're like,
right
yeah,
now.
man, I really feel. I moved people. I mean, it was really easy. They were drunk. They were kind of moving on their own, but
You're like, I felt that on a deep psychological level. You're like, yeah, man. Is there any people you wish would stop singing?
no.
You can't
Publicly say that as a
I know. Tell me
Karaoke
after. Tell me
DJ.
after.
Yeah, no, that could be like behind the scenes, some like OnlyFans stuff. That way, the deep subscribe to hear more.
Yes. If you want to hear who should stop singing at the secret group, follow us on Patreon.
I was like, no. Obviously, I have a very good poker face.
I was talking to another comic the other night because there's several comedians in the city of Houston that have a bad breath problem.
Oh no.
And I was talking to this comic and he's like, yes, I know people like that. And I was like, I do too. And he's like, who are you talking about? I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. And I was like, okay, I'll write down a list and you write down a list and we'll show it to each other, but we cannot tell anyone else. And his list was completely different than mine.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. I was like, I guess I don't talk to these people up close ever, but now I know not to.
I kind of want to do like a who's who, like the guess who game, but have it now Houston comic karaoke based.
Yes.
And like just do the little doodles and like have to guess.
I think there was comics doing that one time.
Really?
I can't remember if it was with other comedians or they were doing like famous people or something. But they had to ask like weird questions. They couldn't ask the regular questions. They had to be like, can this person say the N-word? Like those are the questions they were asking each other. And it's like, okay, that's like a really weird way to ask that. I was like, okay, guys. Okay, let's talk about sex.
Yeah.
You mentioned that your mom gave you some interesting dating and sex advice.
Yeah. So obviously, and I say this, Robin, the more practical, like straight laced, like birds and the bees, the stuff that you would expect from your mom. And I think because Beth and I have the dynamic we did where I kind of got to grow up. I mean, my mother gave birth to me. But as I've gotten older too, it's developed, both my moms really, a friendship relationship, but definitely with Beth. We're garage sale buddies and like shopping, and I definitely get my clothing accessory issue from her. It's fine. But yeah, no, she had some interesting advice, when I started dating it, and it started off kind of tame. And I remember her being like, well, don't give up the cookie. And like, she's just very blunt and fun about
the cookie.
Don't give up the cookie right away. She's like, make him work, make him pay for things and make it, which, strong advice. Like if somebody's putting in the effort, like,
you can have my cookie.
like if you're really showing up and being consistent, you might earn it. But then also just the way like she phrases things sometimes, she has a way with words. And so it's not like directly sex related, but about parts. And so there was like a weekend, our family was doing like a beach house thing in Galveston. And my friend at the time had come with me. And she was like in a dress, but I guess she was like sitting kind of like legs open. I also have shorts, so if I do it, we're good. But like legs open or whatever. And I'm sure there was some like cocktails involved. It's at night. We're on the patio at the beach house. And Beth just goes, "You need to close your legs, girl. I can see your whisker biscuit." And so
Whisker biscuit. I haven't heard that one.
yeah. So like all my friends now, it's like, what's that word that Beth came up with? And so like whisker biscuit is a thing among my friends now.
It does make sense.
Mm-hmm. Whisker, it's been coined here now, folks, but you got to credit Beth.
Use that one next time you're in the bedroom, ladies.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, how's the whisker biscuit?
You wanna fuck my whisker biscuit?
That would be like immediately make me stop.
I know. That's a good way to like scare people away, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah.
But also that she was just so comfortable and like, I mean, it's a friend I had, known since like middle school. But Beth didn't like spend a ton of time with her, but she's that kind of person that just makes friends with like everybody. And she's like, "Oh girl, I'm real comfortable to tell you I can see your whisker biscuit right now." So
I'm real comfortable to tell you that I can see your whisker biscuit right now.
Are there certain things, like certain situations you're in where you're like, I'm gonna call my mom versus I'm gonna call mommy Beth? Like,
yeah, for sure. And they've both, I've been through some real heavy stuff and both have been very supportive. Breakups and things like that. I've been through more than one really bad breakup. And my parents have always been like really supportive. But it's like when I need to be like seen and like comforted in a really safe space, but then also might need a little kick in my pants from time to time, which I need a lot. Robin, like my mom, all day. She's very supportive. And especially too, like, so I was diagnosed, it wasn't until like my 20s that I was diagnosed with like anxiety and depression. My mom came from an era where that wasn't like really a thing, like, rub some dirt on it, you're fine. It wasn't something they really talked about.
Well, yeah, it only really existed 20 years ago.
And so like, when I finally, I'd always felt like something's not right. I don't feel like everybody like worries the way that I do. And I was diagnosed and I remember she'd seen like an article about Kristen Bell talking about her mental health. And my mom was like, "Oh, yeah, I read this thing about Kristen Bell. This is like for real." And I was like, yeah, nobody wakes up being like, I want to be really depressed and like cause all these fights. So that was really interesting. And since then has been like really supportive and like even pushes me at times when I don't see it in myself. And is like, "You probably should be in therapy for a little bit, bro." And we'll like get on me. Be like,
"Bro, get in therapy."
Yeah. Like, "Can you talk to someone, please?"
Yeah.
So those kinds of things where I really need the push, but also like a place to be held and like comforted. My mom, but also Beth is a place of support as well. And there might be things where like I'm afraid, because even now in my 30s, like and I'm really close with my mom, love her so much, but there's still a part of me that is afraid of my mom because super caring, sweet, but she does not play. And so like one of the things I'm always worried about is like disappointing her, upsetting her. And I feel like when I'm afraid to approach a situation, Beth can kind of be a sounding board and like get me out of my head a little bit. Or two, like I want to hit up the good garage sales, or like I need that good old, "Hey, don't give him the cookie yet" advice. Good old, but both of them, like, we have, my mom and I have made each other like our faces hurt and crying from just like little stupid jokes that we'll get into. But then Beth and I also have our brand of like whatever we joke and talk about. But definitely when I need the kick in the pants, Robin's going to give it to me. So
yeah,
that's cool to have like two moms on speed dial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes that push out of the nest.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if I need the good astrological stuff, like, "Yo, what are your vibes?" Beth, for sure. Like,
what
"Hey,
is my chart looking like right
Yes,
now for
yep.
this year?" Yeah.
It's kind of funny that her name's Robin. It's giving like Mother Goose, like mommy bird energy.
One of the big things growing up, and I think part of the reason singing became a thing for me when I was older too, is she sang like a lot of just like, and she has a lovely voice, sang like a lot of fun but kind of unhinged like nursery songs with me when I was like younger. So
Unhinged nursery.
well, there's this one that's Got Run Over by a Reindeer was like a big one for Christmas.
Oh,
but then
yeah.
there's this one, it's like Grandma's in the cellar, Lordy, can't you smell her? And there's stuff about boils and like stuff like that. And then there's the, you know, great big gobs of greasy, grimy gopher, like those kinds of songs she sang with me when I was younger. So it was like sweet, but also like I think another level of like, I'm a little weird.
Yeah, a lot of those songs looking back now are really creepy. Like, what is it? Pocket full of posy, ring around the rosy.
Yeah, about the plague.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, we were all just like singing about dying.
You got to make it through
Also,
somehow.
Yeah, the Rain Rain Go Away song where he bumps his head and didn't get up in the morning. Yeah, he died too.
There's some stuff about
Oh fuck.
all of these sweet songs are now like, no man, we are a traumatized world.
You should do a karaoke night where it's all nursery songs.
I could easily like have a list of like, this is the like weirdly messed up stuff that you guys need to sing, and we'll all feel good about it.
I love that. A themed karaoke night would be really
Call
funny.
it trauma, childhood trauma.
Trauma night. Well, there have been ones there where are just emo karaoke, and I'm like, what if I just fuck it up right now and sing something that's not emo?
I'm not against like a themed night, and there's been parts of me that are like, I'm gonna talk to Kendall and be like, yo, not like the whole night, but I want an hour like dedicated to like, this is the theme.
Yeah, or like a princess pop hour. Like all the men, you have to sing Sabrina Carpenter.
And
right
there
now.
are dudes there that'll sing some girl stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm not mad at you. You give me thoughts. Cool.
They will, and to that I say, stolen valor. Why are you singing about hating men right now when you are one? If anyone should hate men, it's other men.
They know.
I mean, also women, but why? Yeah, why should other men hate men? You know that like viral clip from like some sort of video where it's like people debating, and this man is like complaining about society, and this woman is like, well, who set that system up? Because he's like, men are more depressed, men are killing themselves.
I was having a conversation with
Yeah.
someone last night. They were like, and it was a guy, and he was like, well, you're probably going to live longer than me because you're a woman. And I was like, you're not wrong.
Yeah, statistically that's true, but that's because you carry so much hate in your soul.
If you just healed yourselves a little more, it'd be fine.
Exactly. Speaking of men,
Oh boy.
well, this is somewhat related to men because they're usually required for this, but like looking at your childhood and everything now, do you have any desire to be a mom?
I do. I think ever since I was a kid, you know, I kind of have felt that, that pull and desire in me and that life experience. And I've had, you know, friends be like, oh man, you'd be a really good mom. But like the weird kind, you know, like I think initially I'd probably be a little bit of a helicopter mom. But I'd also like do my own brand of momming, and like be there for the kid. It just like hasn't happened for me to this point. But I think Bentley, my little dog was a gift in that. And because I haven't had experience outside of like my nieces and nephews and spending time with them in that regard, it's given me someone to be responsible for, but also that unconditional love kind of thing. And I do think there are parts of me that's an experience I won't get to share with Robin and Beth, like to understand, like really have a human child. And I have my own, Robin and I kind of have like a Steel Magnolias dynamic in that. Like I can have children, but it may be difficult. And my mom worries about that. And so anytime we have a conversation, and now I'm on the further side of 30 at this point now. So, but she's always been a big proponent of wanting me to look at adoption, which I'm adopted, so like makes total sense to me, would not be opposed to that, surrogacy or something like that. But like,
just tell one of your sisters you need a kid.
right, be like, hey, just pop one more out and give it to me.
It's part of the family cycle,
right? Like Cindy and I share a dog now. Which of you is going to share a child with me now?
Yeah.
But no, I've always wanted to be a mom, and I try to get that out, I think, some in my interactions with my nieces and nephews. And obviously with Bentley. But yeah, no, I would like to be a mom. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but you know, nothing's out of the question, especially with, you know, being a product of adoption and things like that. Like, I think once I'm a little closer to like really making that call, that's not something that's not off the table for me.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to have a kid now too. Like you could do surrogacy as
Yeah.
well. And so then you don't even have to go through the whole pregnancy pushing out thing.
Well, and that's the thing that Robin's always concerned with too. Like, you know, and I've had conversations with her about just wanting that experience of being able to carry the child and like have this biological bond with the kid. And she always reminds me, she's like, you and I don't have that. But she was like, I almost arguably love you more because of that. Like, and I know that adopting a child doesn't, you know, change the way you feel about them or the love that you have for them. So I don't think, you know, if it just happens that I can't have a kid, like adoption would certainly be something I would think about.
Yeah, it also it affects everyone very differently. Like some people love being pregnant, and then for others it's like the worst experience they have. Like they hate their body, they don't feel any sexual attraction towards their partner, they're sick all the time, and then other people are like, I'm glowing and everything's beautiful.
Like, look at my cute little, like, it looks like I ate a burrito and not like I'm growing a person.
Yeah,
I had a friend who, like, I feel like physically she did not, and emotionally too a little bit. I feel like she had a hard pregnancy, and then she had my goddaughter, absolutely lovely. And she was like, I want to have another baby. She's like, I love being pregnant. And for a second I went, are you sure? I was like, I know you like the end product of it. We love your end product. But like, you were scary for a little.
Yeah, I remember this differently than you do.
You were really mean to us for 9 months.
It was rough, man. Are you sure you liked it? But yeah, no.
I've been pregnant before and I did not like it. I was like very sicky the entire time.
Yeah.
It was going down. And
I think I've heard there's something psychologically that happens in your brain after, I don't know if this is true, someone fact check it, but after you give birth, and even though that can be like a very painful, like sort of traumatic experience, there's something chemically going on where you kind of forget how bad it was a little bit, so that you want to do it again. Like it's a biological,
like your body romanticizes
evolution.
it for you, so
Yes,
you'll do it again.
That's a great way to put it.
Yes, I've heard a lot of mothers say that, but then I've heard our mother describe in detail how painful it was giving birth. So I don't think
That's
that works for
because she will
everyone.
never forget any inconvenience she had.
That part is really scary, like the childbirth. Like, and I've had a couple of surgeries. One of them I was like super knocked out for, and the other one was like kind of twilighty. And I have pretty pain related issues that, like, the one point in high school it was so bad my mom was like, don't be mad at me, but is there any way you could be having a miscarriage right now? So I feel like pain, I've been through it, but like childbirth, like, I don't know, man.
That's a whole nother level. I've also heard that being pregnant with a girl is much harder than being pregnant with a boy. Have you guys heard this?
No, I haven't, but that sounds kind of sexist.
No, like on average they say like boy pregnancies go a lot smoother, and then girl pregnancies are like, those are the ones where you're like, I want to kill myself.
Well, I'm sure it like contributes, like the hormones that you're making for each of the little people, like it changes stuff.
You're making for a boy is like woo, and the hormones you're making for a girl are like rage,
I hate this.
pain.
Well, maybe it's because it's like you're pregnant with a boy, you're like, your life's gonna be so easy.
You're
It's the
prepared.
only time that you're like partially a man. Also, you have a man inside you.
Yeah, you're like, I can conquer the world. There's a fucking boy in here.
If I were a boy.
I also always imagine if like someone's about to like attack me on the street, I would lie and say I'm pregnant. Do you guys have that?
Oh,
Have that fear that you're like, oh, that's what I'll say. Like, don't hurt me, please. I'm pregnant.
No,
I've thought about like if someone were to try to assault me, I would say I have like some really bad disease. I'd be like, I have HIV. I'm HIV positive. You're not gonna want to do anything with me.
Okay.
I have every hepatitis A, B, C, D.
See, this is my anxiety talking. This is how I would solve that situation, because I feel like people don't care as much about you, but they like that they'll care if there's a boy inside of you.
no, we can't destroy another man.
Yeah,
I've never gotten past the interaction of like faking, like not making eye contact with strangers or like being out walking. I haven't gotten past the like pretending to like fake text on my phone or like be on a phone call to like think further past. Like, what would I do if they saw past the fake phone situation?
Oh, I'll legitimately call someone if I have to walk to my car in the dark.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And I'm like, you're going to stay on the phone with me until I get to my car.
And if someone attacks me, you're going to hear me die.
I maybe have friends who track my like location shared kind of things.
Yeah.
Which like works out really well. Like if you're in a first time like dating situation, you want to make sure like they have an out and you're like, I'm just meeting this person. But also like if the meeting goes well and then they also know where you are and they're like, why were you there for 7 hours? And you're like, you don't need to know everything.
You didn't give away your cookie that quickly, did you? You let him see your whisker biscuit on the second date?
It might have happened. You know, I'm a contemporary woman.
All right, we do have to wrap up here. Can you let the people know where they can find you?
Yeah, so I guess my biggest stuff, I mean, like Facebook because I'm older, Brit Garcia, but also Instagram at Bridgeny, BRIDJGANNY. Also, like Thursday nights, if you like karaoke, I'm at Secret Group. We'll be doing stuff at Company on Stage in June, and then probably directing some stuff later this summer. That'll be on my socials.
Oh, that's so exciting. We'll link everything below. But thank you guys for listening to another episode of What Moms Say. We'll see you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.